Hi, hello, and welcome to a new Boy Time feature, this time on the 2001 film Mulholland Drive. As always, I'm joined by Babby.
Meep meep.
Beep beep. That's what I say whenever I take a drive on Mulholland Drive in GTA, which is something I did want to say that I thought was kind of funny about the opening credits. When it was like just the slow shots of them driving on Mulholland Drive. I'm like, I've driven this street so
I've
many
driven
times.
this.
It feels so weird because I've never been to LA, but I know some of the places from GTA, and that's kind of funny, I think. But what's not funny is this film. There's nothing funny in this
So
movie.
serious.
It's a very serious movie. I think to start off this discussion, I think I'm going to pose a question to you. In that, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you think that you get this movie?
I want to say like 7,
Oh,
maybe 8, 7.5.
that's pretty high.
I don't know. I didn't find it that hard to decipher.
Okay. Okay, I did.
Okay.
I'm probably sitting at a 6.
Okay.
Mainly because I was following for like the first 2 hours, and then the last 25 minutes are where
Yes.
I'm a little bit like, what exactly was that? And like, what's the point of this? Like, I kind of understand what I think David Lynch is trying to get at, but I'm a little confused as to like what actually he's getting at. And maybe you can, we can talk about that since you seem to have a better grip on it than I do.
I am a genius.
That's true.
I've
That's
seen
true.
every Lynch movie. I've seen 3.
I was gonna say, I'm like, this is probably the most experimental one that you've seen because you've just seen Blue Velvet and Fire Walk with Me, which definitely have like David Lynch surrealist moments, but I feel like those are more of his like more concrete kind of like there's an actual kind of storyline that you can follow through those movies. The only other ones I've seen by him are this and Eraserhead, and those are very similar in vibes,
Okay.
in that there's like not really a story. There's like scenes that kind of connect, but there isn't really a through line in a traditional sense. Like I completely forgot that the first like minute and a half of this movie is just people dancing, and now as I'm thinking about that, I'm like, why is that the opening of the movie? But there's a lot of stuff like that where there's just like little weird like one scene things that happen and don't really have an impact on the rest of the movie. But I think it was just like David Lynch had this idea and wanted to get it out there. If I remember right, that's kind of how this movie was made, was kind of like on the fly. I don't know if there was a like set story in stone when he started production on this, which is not totally unusual when it comes to him, especially later in his career. But yeah, I guess this is kind of like a turning point in his career, because like I think it like marks a pretty set departure of his of like kind of going commercial in the way that David Lynch can, I guess, and like having like Dune, and then like Twin Peaks was like the biggest show ever for one season. To where like past the 2000s, I feel like he was like exclusively making movies for weirdo like film bros that like will just watch a movie in the dark with their film projector and their home theater setup, and they're like, this is brilliant, this is a masterpiece,
Cinema.
this is cinema. Which is fine, but I just don't really understand what goes on in the movies later in his career. but I think for the most part, I kind of got it. Um,
Yeah. And this started actually as a television pilot that was
oh,
not picked up by a network. So there's a reason why none of the crazy stuff or nudity or violence happens like in the first
oh,
2 hours of the movie.
yeah,
Because then once it was dropped, he picked it back up and made the last 35 minutes or whatever.
I could see that. I could see that.
You can tell exactly when it happens, which is the funny part. He's like, the gloves are off.
Yeah, yeah. There's one scene where it's like, okay, very clear.
Here we go.
This is the line, which I actually thought that was kind of funny going in because this is my second time watching it. And so, like, I knew what happened at the end of this movie. And, like, just watching the beginning of it, I'm like, this is, like, so chaste. Like, there really is, like, there's a real concerned effort to, like, even when people aren't wearing clothes, it's like they're framed in just a way where
Exactly.
you aren't able to see anything. And that just like completely goes out the window later.
That's why I was confused. I'm like, this is weird. I feel like he's got like some invisible strings tying him here.
Yeah, kind of. I didn't know that TV pilot story.
Yeah, I didn't know until after I watched it, just because I was doing a little bit of digging after. I'm like, oh, that makes complete sense.
Sure. Well, yeah, that does make complete sense. But yeah, I mean, I guess honestly, I don't really know where to start to try to tackle this thing because I mean, it's a very daunting kind of thing to break down. It's 2.5 hours, like surrealist, dreamscape kind of messes with reality. So like we could dive into the story, but that almost feels like that doesn't matter at all in a movie like this.
I think it matters quite a bit. This felt straightforward to me in a weird way.
I
I don't know.
don't know what you're talking about, but I'm happy to jump into it.
Yeah, heavy spoilers ahead. I don't think you can talk
Oh
about
yeah,
this movie without talking about the ending. So
yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like for all these features, we're kind of going in expecting that you've at least know everything that happens if you haven't seen the
yeah,
movie.
I always just try to preface just in case.
True. Yeah. So there will be spoilers. I guess maybe before we get into that, just like I assume we just like both recommend it. Like what did
Oh,
you
absolutely.
rate it? I guess.
I rated it 4.5,
Okay.
which could go to 5, but I think I'd have to watch it one or two more times before I feel comfortable doing that.
Interesting. Okay. I went to rate it today, and the first time I watched it, I rated it 2.5. But that was back when I was a dumb idiot. I think I bumped it up to 3.5.
Yes.
Mainly because I don't like. There's a lot of Lynch stuff that I like more than Mulholland Drive, so that's
Mhm.
kind of my scale.
Yeah. This for me was like 10 times more enjoyable than Blue Velvet, which
Oh
I don't know if
sure.
that's a hot take or not, but
Um, maybe. I don't know. I think Blue Velvet's kind of interesting, and I don't know if we really touched on it when we covered it, but like it was so controversial at the time.
mhm,
Like
I could see that.
specifically like Isabella Rossellini. Like I think Ebert was like Isabella Rossellini shows more skin in this movie than there is in like some pornos, and he was like
Mhm.
David Lynch is exploiting his actresses, and it's like this toxic, and it's like, what are you talking like? Isabella
Yeah.
Rossellini and David Lynch were like together and like were just like frequent collaborators. I don't think and even in watching that movie, I don't like see Isabella Rossellini not having control of every single scene she's in.
Right.
But this movie didn't really have that backlash. I'm sure some of that is it coming out way later. Um, but what's
Also
kind
very different time.
it's also a
It's like
very different time.
15-year difference, I think.
Yeah, yeah. What I think is kind of interesting about it is that like a lesbian relationship is like very core to this
Mhm.
movie and the story that he's telling. When in 2001, that's pretty risque.
Mhm.
So I guess big shout out to David. Rest in peace, obviously. Did we do Blue Velvet as like a tribute, or was that like was that
Um,
before?
I think that was like a couple months before, or if it might have been like a month after. I don't remember exactly
Okay,
because we did that like early in the year. I think
I think so, or maybe it was last year.
I don't even remember
I'm digging through my diary
your
on
catalog.
Letterboxd.
But yeah, I didn't get like nearly as much from Blue Velvet as I did this one. Maybe it's just the different eras of Lynch.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, Blue Velvet. Blue Velvet. I watched on February 24th of 2024.
Okay,
So it would have been in like March that podcast came out.
gotcha.
So it's been a
Time
minute.
flies.
So I guess this is the first thing that we're covering Lynch wise that has happened after he passed,
Hmm.
which I think we did talk about on the podcast proper when that
Yes.
did happen. But I guess uh, shout out, give a little like rest in peace, David Lynch, before I go along and say that his movie confused me. I have a lot of respect for him as an artist. I just like really like sometimes his movies just go like way over my head. But it's fine. It's just a different style of filmmaking that I don't
Hmm.
necessarily subscribe to 100%, but I do like his movies quite a bit. So,
Yeah.
Mulholland Drive.
Plot synopsis, I guess.
Sure.
I don't know.
Naomi
Okay.
Watts
Yeah,
is,
Naomi Watts.
I guess she's the protagonist, kind of one of five.
I
Um,
was gonna say seven.
something like that.
They introduced like 9 characters in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah. But Naomi Watts is a Canadian who flew down to Los Angeles to star in the pictures because her aunt is like a movie star and she's filming, I think, overseas. Or no, I think they were filming in Canada or something.
Something like that.
But whatever, she's out of her house. And so while she's away, Betty, who's Naomi Watts' character, is moving in essentially to house sit, but also to audition for acting roles. Meanwhile, I should have looked up the other actor's name. Oh
Uh,
no,
well, we can call her Rita if
Rita.
we're going through the actual story.
Sure. Yeah. Rita gets in a car accident. That's the person who's driving in the very beginning of the movie. And just coincidentally, she is just like, she gets into a car accident and then just wanders into the apartment complex and then like sneaks in after did Coco like clean up the apartment or something?
Um,
I don't remember
I
how
think
she
the door
got
was
in.
just.
It
Oh
was
no,
just open.
she crawled in when her aunt was like packing, and nobody
Oh,
saw this person just laying in the grass. And
yeah,
then she hid under a table where you obviously would have seen her. And they
that's
just
right.
did.
But anyways, so then the aunt leaves and then Betty moves in, and it's basically like this thing where Rita is amnesiac. She has no memory, and so it's kind of an adventure, I guess, to try to figure out who Rita is. That's like plot A, but I think there's like three other plots going on at any given time.
The main one.
But this is the main that's the A plot, I guess. Um, and then there's a bunch of other fun stuff like Billy Ray Cyrus. Uh, that's the only other thing of note, I think, is that
Yeah,
Billy Ray
just Billy Ray
Cyrus is
Cyrus.
in this
His
film.
cameo was fantastic.
Yes. And Robert Forster is in this movie for 2 seconds, and I was very
Hmm.
disappointed.
Yeah.
Because I saw his name in the opening credits and I'm like, oh, I don't remember that he was in this. That's awesome. I love Robert Forster. And then he's just in the beginning and never shows up again.
Yep.
I'm like, ah, dang it. um, but yeah, that's the basic plot synopsis. Okay. Uh, now explain to me why you think it makes sense that everything that happens at the end.
Okay. So, uh, I guess, how do I lay this out in a way that makes sense? It's a
I
Lynch
don't
movie. It
know.
doesn't need to be straightforward.
No.
So we start with Betty and Rita, who are like, we just went over that.
Yeah.
Betty's whole character arc is being this like Midwestern naive person going to the city of dreams, Los Angeles,
Yeah.
to get into the great big film industry. And we follow her on her. They kind of become like detectives in a way.
Yeah.
There's like like a detective arc, which is just really fun.
It's kind of similar to Blue Velvet in that way.
Exactly. Yeah, he loves his detective stuff, which I love from Lynch too. Cause like the mystery and stuff. Mysteries are multi-layered with him because like the main plot is a mystery, but there's a mystery beneath that and just like what is going on in general, which is great. He does that so well. But like the minute you see her and she's like coming down in LAX and it's all bright and she's wearing this bright pink and like her blonde hair and like sparkly, it's like the embodiment of this kind of American dream of moving to Los Angeles and striking it big on the big screen. And they kind of go through this looking to find Rita at the time's identity. And that's their whole kind of thing. And as they do that, it kind of starts getting a little bit more real, a little bit more dark, getting to the point where they go into Diane whatever's house.
Selwyn?
Selwyn, I think. Yeah. Where they break in, super epic movie style.
Oh, yeah.
And then they find her dead in the bed with a very scary face from... I want to say a gunshot wound tying it to the end.
I think so, yeah.
And that shifts the entire part of the movie. Then they hook up in the bedroom. And then I think that enters the newly movie filmed part of it outside of the TV pilot. They go to Club Silencio, which is just an incredible scene.
Yes.
I think watching Twin Peaks The Return multiple times and really getting it has helped unlock how Lynch functions for me.
Sure.
Because a lot of ideas in this movie are not, I don't want to say like stolen and put it into The Return, but like I want to say repurposed for different ideas he's trying to get across. But Silencio basically shows us that like there's this meta part of like we're watching a movie, so all the audio and visual and everything is edited in, so that person isn't actually playing the trumpet, they're not actually talking to you, she's not actually singing. But then there's they talk about dreams throughout the entire 2/3 of the movie. And knowing Lynch, ideas for him are dreams. Movies and TV are also dreams to him because they're dreams coming to life on a screen that you're invited into. So that whole scene kind of like opened up. I'm like, okay, he's trying to really tell us something with like what we're seeing is a dream. It's fake. It's a movie. It's an act. And then there's that lightning flash, which happens in Twin Peaks as well, to indicate that like someone is actually watching this happen. Or like Laura at the end of Fire Walk with Me is literally peering out of the TV set and seeing her face on the actual TV show. That like flips the switch. And then Diane, who's Betty, Diane wakes up out of her dream into her real reality, who is someone who moved to Los Angeles to make it big in the film industry and shows the real LA and the real American dream of the grit and the disappointment and the corruption and all of these things, who is crushing on Camilla, who is the actual actress that they were talking about in the dream of like, that's the girl. So that brings it back to there. And then they have a falling out and she hooks up with the director, which we see in her dream. And then that leads to like this like weird love triangle at the end of the movie. That's the only thing where it's like that feels a little choppy to me because like there's no setup for that. The romance is absolutely set up between the two leads, but like with the director, that kind of comes out of nowhere. So I need to like see it again to see where that goes in. But all of that leads to her like she's on drugs, she's going crazy, she's having these like schizophrenic episodes.
Old people crawling under her bed or the door.
That was so crazy. That was so crazy. I loved at the beginning where the old people were in the Lincoln Town car just having the time of their life, and then they pop back up at the end. Yeah, and then she basically goes insane and shoots herself, which she also kind of sees in that dream. So for me, it's like almost a Donnie Darko loop situation on steroids and a lot more fleshed out, where there is this kind of like time loop happening where like everything, there's no start or beginning. It's just like a constant kind of loop, why I want to
Yeah.
watch it again, because I want to pick up on those like little details and things. But boiled down, essentially, I think it's a he loves dualities. He loves doppelgangers. There's
Yes.
doppelgangers and dualities in this movie. I think he's showing two sides of LA, the American dream version where like you move to LA and it's all bright and sunny and you become like a big star, and then the reality of it, which is like gritty and corrupted, and even with like the scene where she's auditioning and like it's just
Yeah.
all these creepy men in a room, just trying to prey on whoever they can and all that kind of stuff. I think it's showing the duality in that while also having this romance plot that works really well. So I don't know. I didn't find it that hard to like follow. I think all the details and stuff though are a little bit blurry.
Yes.
Um, but I do love the diner scene in the beginning between the two agents. I know that that's like a very famous Lynch scene. I've seen that
Yes.
before.
Yep.
But the payoff between the jump scare of the homeless guy and then at the end of the movie, the homeless guy kind of holds the black box where the dream is kept in. Like that's the real LA right there. That's like it's this scary
Oh.
thing in the beginning, but we leave it because so we can live in dreamland for a long time. But then he kind of comes back at the end to haunt us. There's just like that overlay at the end where he's just kind of peering into our eyes. It's just terrifying.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. I love it.
I like. Okay. Yes. Yes. Okay. That was kind of what I got too, with like the two different. I guess I wasn't really picking up on like the dream aspect. I thought it was just like there was a cold cut once they open the box and then it falls to the ground. And then it's just like a completely different, like, this is kind of like two different universes almost.
Yeah,
Where
that
like,
mirror shot.
yeah, like that's kind of what I saw where I'm like, okay, the first part of the movie is like this idealistic view of Hollywood. It almost feels like the Betty and Rita moments are like from a more mainstream kind of movie where it
Right.
is like, oh, we got to find your identity. So let's go follow this trail. Oh, you remember something? Let's follow that lead. And so it's like that feels kind of more structured. And then as soon as that, like the box drops, then it like completely shifts. I'm like, okay, so then that was like kind of this is what we expect. This is this kind of maybe this kind of play on the audience expectations in the beginning, trying to make a more like straightforward movie. And then at the end, it like completely subverts that and shows this darker side. I'm like, I understand what's going on. Where like Fire Walk with Me felt like a big like middle finger to TV. This
Yeah,
feels
like
like
voyeuristic.
yeah. Yeah, but this is like a big kind of critique on like the Hollywood studio system, which he obviously hates after working on Dune, which is fair. So like I kind of got that, but then like I think what was really tripping me up was Rita and the director being together, mainly
Yeah.
because the director references the events of what happened in the beginning of the movie, because he was like, I got the pool, she got the pool guy, I should buy that judge a Rolls Royce. I'm like, wait, so then what happened at the beginning of the movie did happen in this timeline? Like, I don't completely understand. Like, it would almost make more sense for that to be like completely separate and for him not to even bring up Billy Ray Cyrus. But the fact that he does bring up Billy Ray Cyrus is like, oh, wait, so what's going on? What's the universe that this is in?
Yep.
Like, I'm trying to make sense of this. But unfortunately, I think with most things, David Lynch, I don't think there's like a solid answer. So I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. I like that the like kind of critique of Hollywood stuff, but I was just kind of confused as to like what was going on like right at the end. Because then like didn't she like it's like implied that she like does a hit on Rita or
Yes.
Carmilla or whatever.
Yeah, which uses the same hitman as we see earlier in the dream part of the movie, where he just like absolutely sucks.
Yeah.
You also see in the dream part of the movie, you see blonde women in the same almost kind of haircut as her, just like
Yeah.
constantly thrown throughout it. Like there's a blonde chick with the hitman, the girl in the
Yeah. Yeah.
diner like is Diane, and then she's
Hmm.
Betty. Like
Yeah.
there's this weird, trippy, like surrealist thing that he's kind of weaving webs in between everything, which I think is why the movie is kind of a loop and there's no beginning or end to it. Um, which is just really cool. That's the stuff I love from Lynch is when he just really goes all out because he has all these disparate ideas, and if you like pick up on one, it leads to a trail of another explanation, which leads to more questions. I think it's meant to not be figured out completely, and I think that's why it's so addicting for me to try to get into this stuff. He's just like constantly throwing things at you, and you're expected to like kind of get it or not.
Yeah.
But I don't know, the movie made me feel a lot of things and it made my mind race, especially in the last 30 minutes, because you're trying to put together like what does this mean, like
Yes.
how does this relate to the rest of it, and that's just the stuff that like really gets me with him.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely feel that. Um, like, yeah, going along with like all the blonde women being in the beginning of the movie, like when it switches to like Betty being Diane, I had to like look up on IMDb. I'm like, is this Naomi Watts or is this just another blonde
Yeah,
woman that
yeah.
like kind of looks like Naomi Watts? Because
Hmm.
there's like five of them in the movie before this. And then I was like, oh, okay, this is Naomi Watts is supposed to be like the same character. So then I was like trying to figure it out. I don't know. I don't know why I try so hard with these things to like try to force them to make sense in my mind because I really don't think that it's supposed to be interpreted that way. But
Yeah, I think it's like down to like how you view things because you're definitely like the more technical aspect when it comes to film at least, and I'm like
yeah,
more of the very like how can you portray this in a way that is completely unique and it
yeah,
doesn't always make sense. um yeah, there's another meta aspect too because this is like one of the first gigantic movies that Naomi Watts was in. So
yeah.
while she's playing a character that's trying to make it big in Hollywood, this unironically got her a lot of roles after to make
Oh,
it
for
big in
sure.
Hollywood after, which is just really funny.
Yeah, she went like right from this to being in like the King Kong movie,
Yeah.
the Peter Jackson one. And she was like the lead or one of the
Hmm.
leads. She plays the blonde woman that King Kong takes up the Empire State Building.
Yeah, which is crazy. So
Yeah.
the the meta like unintentional consequences of her role in this movie is just crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like she went on to be in, well, I know she's in The Return. I don't know if she's in
Yeah, she
any other.
plays Dougie's wife, and
Yes.
I,
And she's the great in
the
that.
same outfit designer probably did
Yeah.
her Betty going down from the airport and Dougie's wife in The Return. They're like the exact same person.
I could definitely see that. Yeah. Well, I'm looking. Oh, she's in Inland Empire.
Okay.
Okay. I think that might be the only other one. Well, she was in the Mulholland Drive TV movie, which I guess is
Oh,
what you're talking about, the pilot, which I guess
yeah. I
did
guess they
get
adapted it for
released.
TV later. I guess
I
they might
don't,
have just adapted it for TV later.
I don't
I'm not
know.
sure.
I think it's kind of, well, actually, I don't know what's going on because this one on IMDb, it's just listed as Mulholland DR instead of the whole Mulholland Drive, and it's a TV
Hmm.
movie that came out in 1999. But then
Oh, it
the,
looks like it was an Internet Archive thing that might have
oh, it got
they might
leaked.
have pulled it. Yeah,
Gotcha.
I'd be interested to see like what that looks like.
Well, it's only an hour and a half. I assume it's just cut down.
Yeah. There are moments in the movie where like there's a drastic cut to a completely different scene and I'm like, oh, okay, there must have been a commercial break in between those to like transition like
Oh, maybe.
Twin Peaks does.
Yeah.
It's just interesting. I feel like if he got denied the TV pilot earlier and he had more like room to work,
Hmm.
then I think it would have been a smoother transition from the dream world to the real one because it feels like he shoves so much in the last 30 minutes. It's
Yeah.
just overwhelming.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely in that camp where I'm like,
Mhm.
what even like I think that happened last time too, where I was just like completely thrown off guard and like I'm still more of like a story structure kind of guy. Like that's how I like pick apart movies. but like I'm more open to more, up to your interpretation stuff now than I was 4 years ago.
Mhm.
But I'm still like, I don't know what's going on. I was proud of myself that I was able to extrapolate even the like fake Hollywood, real Hollywood stuff. I'm
Mhm.
like, I don't think I would have picked up on that 4 years ago, but I'm still not there yet. I don't know why, like, you're not super into movies like I am. So, like, I don't understand why the only movies that really like grip you in this way are the really weird, surrealist, artsy stuff.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think it's just like I try to be a very active watcher when it comes to movies or like music or TV, and it's always the abstract stuff that grips me because it's more than just like what you see.
Sure.
So that's interesting to me. It's like a different movement. It's a different way of doing a very simple idea, or in Lynch's case, 17 ideas.
Right.
But yeah, I think like seeing Tarkovsky's Mirror, I think that was like the last big movie I watched before this. Like it feels very similar to this because like that movie plays with memory in a way where it actually tries to do memory, where there are holes and discrepancies because that's how the human brain works. I feel like this is the same thing with the dream aspect. Like not everything makes sense and things are wrong and weird, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of his whole shtick.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't realize this was his second to last movie. I'm like looking at his IMDb right now.
Oh, interesting.
It's this and then Inland Empire, and then there's like music videos and shorts and stuff. But then there was that long break, and then Twin Peaks: The Return, and then I don't know because he was working on something before he died. I was thinking
He
about
was,
that.
yeah.
I'm like, how are they going to finish that? Like, I don't know how much of it was done, even.
Hmm.
Which, if it's like halfway done and someone else comes in and finishes it, I don't know if I
It's not
want to
going to
see
work.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, we see what happens in season 2 of Twin Peaks when David leaves.
No. True. Yeah. Nobody got turned into a dresser drawer in this movie, which I think is a
That's
plus.
true. That is a plus. Yeah, I think that's one of the worst like fake Lynch things that happen. It's like, okay, you're trying too hard. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I am curious about Inland Empire because I think we were between these two,
Which
and
I
this
think
is
is crazy.
rightfully the one to do first. I think I just like this era of Lynch though, like near the end of his career, because I think this
Sure.
and The Return are my favorite things he's done. Um, I don't know. I think it comes with like you start to understand him and how his brain works in
Sure.
this era because he does interviews and he talks about what an idea is and what a movie is to him and this meditation journey and all these weird things. So you can kind of pick up on like what things kind of portray or point towards what. Because I think like The Return is so good because I think it takes elements from a lot of his older stuff, like Mulholland Drive, and
Yes.
repurposes it. Because like the Silencio scene is very similar to like the firemen and the fireman's castle, which is just the theater.
Yeah.
Like down to the opera singer that's in The Return, like all of those are kind of repurposed and recontextualized to fit into like whatever he's doing there. So I don't know. I think he has a continuous stream of ideas that carry over between project to project, even though they're not in the same universe or connected. So you kind
Yes.
of pick up on it, and then it makes it easier to dissect whatever you're going into next.
Yeah, well, that's definitely true. I think like there's definitely through lines, even like from Eraserhead to this,
Hmm.
where like that movie is very much like critiquing the kind of like consumerist and like the American dream kinda, or at least that's what I get from Eraserhead. I don't know
Hmm.
what he's actually trying to say with that one because I haven't rewatched it and I was very
Yeah, I
confused the
should
first
probably
time.
do that one next. I feel like that's a
That
rite of passage.
Yeah, I feel like we go with Eraserhead. And I've also never seen The Elephant Man. That's the only
Okay.
thing that he's ever been nominated for an Oscar for.
Yeah. And I think that one's more straightforward too.
Yes. Well, it's kind of a biopic about a real
Okay.
guy.
Yeah, I guess you can't get too insane with that.
Well, I think he still kind of does, but
Yeah.
because that he follows up Eraserhead with The Elephant Man.
Okay.
So I assume it's probably weird and wacky, but I've never seen it.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I think from here we should do Eraserhead. I think Inland
Yeah,
Empire is kind of like it should be the
near the
last
end. Hmm.
because it's like it's from what I've seen, it seems like a step beyond like Mulholland Drive of that it's like
Okay,
so scattered as to like what is going on. Um, but maybe you'd love that. I'm like I have
I
no idea.
might. Yeah.
It seems too daunting right now.
Hmm.
But you're more of a Lynch man than I am.
I just love the surrealist stuff. It's my favorite thing. Um, I feel like such a snob because like I love seeking out these kind of movies and I don't see like a lot of popular movies that come out. So I always feel like, oh, I'm just one of those art people that are annoying. But like I don't watch a lot of movies, so this is genuinely the thing that like gets me to sit down and watch a movie.
I think that's so crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I still enjoy other stuff. Like I watched Flow earlier this year and that
Yeah,
was fantastic. The Wallace and Gromit movie, that was
that's
great.
good.
Like, yeah. I don't know. It's interesting because I feel like I need to like go through some of the classics, just normal movies. But at the
Sure.
same time, it's like I'm not as inclined to watch something like that than something like this because this messes with my head for like weeks on end. Usually, when I
Yeah.
watch one of these that actually grip me.
Well, like what are these other movies that you think you need to check off?
I don't know, like just the usual like film bro classics. Like I've seen The Shining and stuff, but
Sure.
like
Oh, you
other things like adjacent to that.
what like a Psycho or something or
Yeah,
Nightcrawler or Drive.
Nightcrawler, 2001,
Not,
which we probably shouldn't
2000.
do.
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't really want to sit down and watch that movie again, but
Yeah, we don't
it's
have
fine.
to.
Um, yeah, probably should. Maybe I did have this idea because I guess we should probably say that this is kind of going to be the format going forward for a little bit.
Hmm.
I think instead of doing the regular show for a minute and not that regular show, the regular
Oh,
podcast, we're going to be doing these features every other week. So I don't know. I was kind of thinking like it would be kind of fun to do like film bro movies, and I was specifically thinking Drive and Taxi Driver, because like that would be kind of fun. Not doing
yeah.
them on the same episode, but
No,
like it would be kind of fun to review
it would
Taxi
be fun.
Driver as like a not as one of those people, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. Have we really done a decent job talking about Mulholland Drive?
I mean, we talked about things. I don't know
Okay.
how you can like do a definitive review of this.
Yeah, it
Like, I
feels a
think you
little
just have to
difficult.
talk about what you like and what you don't understand and what it made you feel and think. So I think we did a decent job.
I think
I
so.
got off my wild, kooky theories,
That's fine. I think that's good.
or at least some of them.
I do want. I know you mentioned the Winkies scene. Like
Yes,
it's like so good. I also want to like share that. Like that is maybe
it's
some of
incredible.
like David Lynch's best like directing.
Hmm.
Where it's like that guy, and he's one of those guys. I think he's in Twin Peaks: The Return. The guy
He
who's
is, yeah.
like I don't remember who he is in that, but I just
Or maybe
remember
I'm
seeing
confusing him
him.
with Shaggy. I don't remember.
Well, Shaggy's in there too.
Yeah.
But I thought he was in. I thought the Mulholland Drive guy was in there because it feels like everybody that worked with David Lynch that was still alive kind of showed up in
Yeah.
The Return. Let me see. Oh, he's
Forgot what
in
his name is.
Lost. His name is Patrick
Interesting.
Fischler.
Oh, okay.
Let me see, because The Return came
Oh,
out
yeah.
in
Yeah,
2017.
he's
Yeah,
in the
okay.
return. Duncan.
Duncan Todd. I like that guy. I think he's really good.
Hmm.
Even though he's like kind of a, I guess he's a character actor, which you don't see very much these days. So
True.
a big shout out
Yeah.
to
That's
Patrick
another
Fischler.
added layer is like David Lynch used to always go to the diners in LA, like think Big Boy's Diner or whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
like over lunches and just get like a coffee and think.
Mhm.
So like having a dreamscape movie where the two central dream-esque moments are in a diner
Oh,
is like another just insane layer.
yeah, yeah. That That makes sense. Well, he loves diners in general.
He does. It's like every single Lynch thing has a diner in it.
Yeah. And they all have stupid names.
Yep.
Well, I guess double R isn't, that's not a dumb name. It's a kind of a weird name for a diner, but I kind of like it.
Mm-hmm.
But Winky's?
Winky's Diner.
Winky's Diner.
Winky's, Sleeping, Dream.
Yeah, I get it.
Keep layers to this.
But I really, really like that scene. I was kind of surprised at how early it happens in the movie.
Me too.
For some reason, I'm like,
that was the only thing I knew about this movie.
Oh, well, sure. I think like way back in the day, I think this was like a Big Money did a parody of that as one of his ad reads.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that was
That's not what I saw first. But
I think that was the first thing I saw that like referenced Mulholland Drive. I think actually, if I'm being completely honest with myself, I think that was actually the reason I wanted to watch Mulholland Drive, because I'm like, I want to understand what this is referencing.
What this is. And then you still don't get it. It's just like, oh, well, this doesn't help.
No, it doesn't really. But it like, it makes that more funny, I guess. But true. I don't understand the David Lynch thing, even though it's great. And there's like a beast man, which is awesome. We need more beast men in movies.
It was good seeing the scene in context, because you just see it out of context and everybody's like, this is one of the best scenes of all time.
It doesn't, in context, it's just like dropped in the middle.
It was like,
there's no context. It's just dropped in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, and then you don't see those people ever again.
No. Wrong. He shows up. At the end of
he does show up, or he said he showed up in Winky's in someone else's dream, not his, but
no, it was his dream. Well, it was someone else in his dream that it was someone else in his dream, which was actually a dream of Naomi Watts.
Now you're getting
this is too I don't understand.
I'm like, every Lynch thing, like I need a character chart of like who is who at every point in this movie. I just need like an insane Venn diagram web thing. Too many doppelgangers.
Yes, yeah. Especially in like The Return, because like there's 5 Dougies, essentially.
There's a lot of Dougies.
There's a lot of Dougies. And I don't remember what they call, like Thelmas or something.
Tulpas.
Tulpas. That's it. Yeah, I don't understand it at all. But it's kind of fun to watch.
Exactly.
I will say, I think like last time I think so. But last time I watched this, I think I do remember being like kind of bored at the end. Just like I think I would given up trying to understand. And so, but this time I was like following along. So I think I'm getting there.
Good. I thought the pacing and everything was pretty good. Yeah. Which makes sense if it's a TV pilot. You have to put all your very interesting leads and stuff like up front so people get invested.
Oh, sure. I mean, I think the beginning of this movie is relatively straightforward.
Yeah.
So if you stick with it for long enough and then can sit through the end and then like try to figure out what's going on.
Like what happened. Yeah.
I think there's an enriching experience somewhere in there. But I don't know. I haven't reached it yet. Totally. But
nobody totally gets there. Only David Lynch can totally get there. And I like it that way.
I agree. I think I'm very glad, like, and this is what I will say maybe to close it off, but like as someone that like never has really been super into his work, I'm very glad that a person like that was expressing himself in this way. Because like in a world where like everybody is trying to like copy, like especially in the 80s and 90s, everyone was trying to do like what Spielberg and Lucas were doing, like what David Lynch was doing in his own little weird corner of Hollywood, I think is like really respectable, that he kind of never really gave up what made him unique, even when he was doing Dune, because there's a lot of weird shit in Dune too. Which
Yeah,
I'm
I think it makes it timeless too.
true.
Like
Yeah.
these don't age in a way that other movies do, or like you have to be like, we're in the '80s. Here's popular things in the '80s or
Right.
whatever. Like this is maybe a better portrait of like the American consciousness 2001
Yeah.
than you'll find in a big blockbuster, just because it is not tending to those like obvious things you want to point towards.
Right. He doesn't use like top 40 songs of the time in his
Exactly.
movie. Like, and maybe
Didn't even talk about the
we
score.
didn't
The
talk
score is
about it.
brilliant
I
for this
didn't.
movie.
Yeah, we need to
So
put some
good.
flowers on Angelo
Yeah.
Badalamenti because his score in this
Also
is
rip.
crazy. Also, rest in peace. Yeah, I think he died like only a year before David Lynch did.
Yeah, it was close.
David Lynch wanted to be with his friend, and it's very touching.
Respect.
But yeah, Angelo Badalamenti. I don't think. I mean, he's well respected as a composer, but I don't think enough people like put enough flowers on him. Like, I think he is
Yeah,
still
he's incredible.
somewhat underrated for how good of a film composer he is. I would say that he's maybe as like talented as David Lynch himself in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And I think
You
like
can't have one without the other.
no,
Twin Peaks doesn't work without that. This movie
no,
doesn't either, and the dream sequences.
yeah. And did he write the opera song at the Club Silencio? Like, I'm
I'm not
assuming
sure.
it just says music by. So I'm assuming
Yeah.
either he wrote it or it's like an old opera song or something that they just used. But if he did write it, I was like blown away
Yes.
by that. I mean, we already talked that scene is amazing, but like that song is really what sells it. Like if it was a different song or maybe it wasn't as good, like that effect would not be nearly what it is. So big shout out to Angelo Badalamenti. Rest in peace to both him and David.
Legends.
Legends.
GOAT status on both of them.
Yes. And if you want to learn how to write a script just like David Lynch, well, you're in luck. Go to the Maharishi Golden Temple in Fairfield, Iowa, where you can take a screenwriting course that David Lynch provided the curriculum for.
Boom.
So
And also buy his Transcendental Meditation book so you can understand that.
don't do that. I mean, you can do that while you're in Fairfield. There's a bunch of hippies
Yeah.
and stuff there.
Yeah, just do both at the same time.
Yeah, I
That'll
mean,
break your brain. Don't do that.
Well, yeah. Yeah, you're going to be following Maharishi, who I think is dead. But he was alive at some point.
Aren't we all?
Yeah. But you can follow in the footsteps of the Beatles and the Beach Boys, who both spent time at the Maharishi Temple in Fairfield. And so did David Lynch. He had a house down there.
Property.
He had property. So go visit his house in Fairfield. He would love to have you.
Real.
But that's it for this episode, I think.
I think so. I loved it. It was great.
Bye.